FREDETTE, a three, rattled in.
Well, obviously you cannot leave Jimmer alone for that kind of a look, but it all started on the other end. Baczynski and Wright in the lane, denying underneath.
8-0 start for Westchester. They beat Sioux Falls in both meetings here in White Plains. Boo Paulo ends the 8-0 run for the Knicks and puts the Skyforce on the board.
And I think by getting off to the strong start, West game off the bench. Stokes with position.
Maneuvers underneath the basket and takes Baczynski one-on-one for two.
Good footwork to get around the 7'2" Jordan Baczynski.
Inside Baczynski, he was swarmed and lost the ball. Magruder pushing against FREDETTE, high off the glass, and another.
For Sioux Falls as they have taken a 1-point lead. That Sioux Falls, a team that has good depth, great depth really, a number of guys that can hurt you. They might not get 25 or 30, but they're gonna get their 12, 15, or 17.
FREDETTE forcing it against Magruder, well defended. Skyforce without numbers. The trailer, Trawick going right to the rim for the scoop.
And too easy right there for the former Georgetown star, Jabril Trawick.
We mentioned the defensive prowess.
Nearly 18 turnovers a game that they force, as you mentioned, as a result of nearly 10 steals per game for Sioux Falls. That, the #1 figure in the league.
Jimmer FREDETTE has re-entered here in the first quarter. Atypical for FREDETTE to leave the game and come back in the first frame. Stokes abusing Atkins to the rack, and all Darion can do is...
Stokes 6 points to this point. Was just doing it too easily. Doing it easily that time is Atkins for the Knicks.
Adding 2 to the total, the UVA product. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Sioux Falls has been relentless after falling behind early, led by that man, Jarnell Stokes, who has it knocked away.
To knock it out of bounds in the previous trip, Atkins was able to make Stokes.
By that man, Jarnell Stokes, who has it knocked away.
To knock it out of bounds in the previous trip, Atkins was able to make Stokes pass it up, so he started to come around defensively against the big horse inside.
5 on the timer. Trawick, reverse attempt and a foul.
Totals are not among the league leaders, but there's 7 Westchester turnovers, 72% shooting for Sioux Falls. That's your ball game through 1 quarter.
Sioux Falls on the season #1 field goal percentage in the league, just a hair under 50%, outperforming that in the first 12 minutes. Benson with the long outlet. Pull-up 3 at the buzzer, and it's no good for Briante Weber. Against the Skyforce, an awkward release. Hits a 2 falling away with Joey Waller, David Resnick, our entire ESPNU crew here in White Plains, New York, as we kick off the 2016 D-League playoffs.
2 starters for Westchester, Trice and Baczynski scoreless. Jordan's in there now, needs to get it going.
Greg Winnington off the bench and in the scoring column, the 6'8" product from George.
Despite those injuries you mentioned, as FREDETTE commits yet another Westchester turnover.
Winnington will trip here in Westchester as a practice player for the Knicks. Westchester had hoped that he'd be able to join the team this season. Instead, he was part of Miami's training camp and winded up in Sioux Falls. Miami, of course, the parent club of the Skyforce. FREDETTE off the screen, looking to...
For Westchester, actually, as Baczynski is able to power one home. Westchester, actually, very unusual at this level, has a better record on the road than they do at home.
They split a pair of meetings in South Dakota as part of the 4-game season series. Winnington has already hit 1, and another one falls from deep.
Making with the gyrations after
The bench here in the second quarter.
And so it continues to rain threes for the Skyforce, 5 of 8. Knicks an uncharacteristic 3 of 5. They're one of the worst shooting 3-point teams in the league. The fact that they're overcoming that tonight doesn't matter because of the way Sioux Falls is shot.
Knicks are the worst in terms of made.
The fact that the Knicks are 3 of 5 from 3, the fact that they're shooting an even 50% from the floor. So with their more modest, capable though modest offensive attack, Westchester's got to be fueled on the defensive end where they excel.
10 on the timer, past the midway point of the second quarter. Knicks led 8-0, and then it's been all Sioux Falls. Benson rolling to the basket, takes the contact, and one.
Well, that time, to say the least, for Sioux Falls, and they continue to play her offensively. Still not a great rebounder for his size, but a guy that I think you could easily plug in as a third center in the NBA. And of course, if you're a third center, you're just one injury away from being the backup center.
Stokes back in, Bichinski with the defensive assignment. Stokes gets the friendly roll off the iron.
And does it against the 7'2 Bichinski despite the big height. It's all about the postseason here in the D-League, trying to lead Sioux Falls to a title. Santa Cruz, the defending champion in the D-League, they have not even made the playoffs this year.
Same can be said for the two-time Eastern Conference champs, the Mad Ants of Fort Wayne. So we will have 2 new participants in the finals this season, making the playoffs even more exciting. Trice in the corner.
We talked about some of the size that they bring off the bench with Benson.
Participants in the finals this season, making the playoffs even more exciting. Trice in the corner.
We talked about some of the size that they bring off the bench with Benson. Mullins was averaging 9 points and 7 rebounds before he went to Turkey. If you're looking for something positive for Westchester, well, one thing is that those 2 guys aren't still here for the Skyforce.
Seven on 2 occasions. What's even more remarkable is they started the year 0-2, including a loss here in November against Westchester. So not only are they 40-10 overall, they're 40-8 over the last 48.
And so thanks for reminding me, they start 0-2 and then begin 22-4 en route to the 40-10 record as Stokes goes to the bucket. Isn't that how some NFL coaches off on the catalyst? And he was right there. Good all-around player. He can pass, can drive, can shoot. Good on the defensive end. Had 5 steals in a recent game down the stretch.
Difference is 10. 3:30 to go in the first half. The handoff, Weber. Deflected out. It'll stay with the Skyforce.
Well, Westchester, in nearly tripling their 10 wins, second worst in the league. They've been blown out very.
Difference is 10. 3:30 to go in the first half. The handoff, Weber. Deflected out. It'll stay with the Skyforce.
Well, Westchester, in nearly tripling their 10 wins, second worst in the league. They've been blown out very rarely, Dave, so you would expect them to get back in this one.
Paulo against Fredette. Good angle off the window.
And we've now seen 9 different, had been an assistant for the Austin Spurs, who are the D-League affiliate of the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, when you come from Camp Greg Popovich, you would expect nothing less than a great job.
Although I think he's been kind to you throughout the season with halftime interviews, no?
Oh.
Stokes with the left hand.
None better. None better. None better.
The lead back to 12 after Westchester cut it to 10. Trice maneuvering his way on the baseline, and it's collected by Trawick. Stokes, baseline. Continuation for a chance at 3.
It was the New York Knicks, and you got to look there for a moment at some of the New York Knicks players who are in attendance. They could easily slip out at halftime, probably few would notice, but even when the great boxing champ Floyd Money Mayweather was here courtside earlier this year, I was watching him. He was here the whole game.
Stokes picks up the loose ball. Weber leads in against Bichinski. Offensive foul as the
out of his face, but look at me, huh? Big alarmist, trying to be dramatic.
Safety first.
Fortunately, no blood.
Under 2 minutes to go. Trice driving on Paulo, defended well. Sioux Falls on the run out. 3-on-1. Stokes with the power jam.
Another easy transition bucket, and Stokes now with 18 points here in the opening half on 8 of 10. Boy, in recent years for going from the D-League to starring in the NBA, then the Heat's Hassan Whiteside.
Baczynski on the follow.
And close to a goaltend, but Baczynski able to get it to go, move Westchester to within 13.
Hassan Whiteside, of course, playing for the Miami Heat, the parent club of Sioux Falls. Whiteside, a D-League veteran, but spending most of it. Jimmer FREDETTE, we just saw there, began the season on a 10-day contract with New Orleans. Change ends to start the third quarter. 13-point advantage for Sioux Falls. The miss rebounded by DeAndre Liggins.
Jimmer FREDETTE starting this third quarter despite playing with the 3 fouls, as is Thanasis Antetokounmpo, also with 3.
Antetokounmpo, a rebound in traffic. FREDETTE picked up his third foul, second. Trice around the screen, gets into the paint. The finger roll is through.
And Westchester can certainly use more of that. Trice was quiet in the opening half. And as for Antetokounmpo, getting back to him for just a moment, folks, if you're wondering, is he related to the Greek Freak? Well, he is. But the Greek Freak is no freakier than that man Stokes, who continues to burn Westchester. Of course, we're talking about.
On the reset to Trice, it was deflected to a wide open Keith Wright, lays it in.
And I would be surprised if Westchester doesn't make at least one run to make this a ball game, David. All year we've seen with this Knick team that they are rarely out of one.
Over FREDETTE, Paulo with the miss. A chance to cut it to single figures. Trice on the move. Bitchit. 2 minutes gone by, second half. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Stokes spinning on Baczynski, draws the help, and scores plus the foul.
Well, not enough. As high as 29, he can now get to 20.
Rounds a contest. He pushes the advantage back to 14 by completing the three-point play. The lob is too strong, good backside defense. Here comes Stokes, acting as a point forward across the timeline.
Yeah, Trowick able to get his hands on it, and now on the offensive end.
Gets into the paint, but traveled.
And you know, you mentioned the numero uno in this league has not really done it off the backboards, but just keeps scoring at will.
Liggins wasn't watching, nearly got stripped by Trice. He recovers and fires to the corner from Magruder. Rebounded by Sioux Falls, but then lost in the paint. Trice 1 on 3, looks back, FREDETTE. Too strong on a 3, and a battle for the rebound down to Stokes. The other way, Magruder, Euro step in the paint, his layup short. Trice surveys his options. He lost
the feed. So Liggins coming up with his 7 assists. That's his season average, number 4 in the league.
7:50 to go, third quarter. FREDETTE using the screen, low dribble, high teardrop is through.
And anybody that says Jimmer is just a shooter, well, you saw evidence to the contrary there.
Wraparound pass, Stokes. Liggins to Stokes, a deadly combination.
6'7", 255. Is he a 4?
Also joined by Darion Atkins off the bench.
Here's Stokes on Jimmer. Interesting matchup.
FREDETTE backpedals, goes into the lane, awkward shot. It's cleared by Stokes, who played the defense. 12-point lead, 7 minutes to go in the third. Liggins steps into a high arcing 3 and buries it.
And so again, a 15-point bulge for Sioux Falls, and perhaps Stokes scoring.
Liggins thought he was drawing contact there, picked up by Magruder, end of the shot clock. Stokes gets an offensive rebound and a reset for the Skyforce.
And there's the offensive rebounding by Stokes that Coach Miller of Westchester was concerned with. Hasn't done a lot of it, did it right there.
Sioux Falls outscored 8-0 to start the game. They took a 17-point lead later on in the first quarter. And Trawick gets all the way to the rim, added up to 22 next season. Darion Atkins is denied off the inbounds play.
I believe it was Trawick that got the hand on it as Atkins was turned away.
Under 6 minutes to go, the lob inside. Magruder just out-muscling everyone, and the lead balloons to 16.
Sioux Falls continues to set up shop far too easy.
And a loose ball foul as the Sioux Falls defense, and that's what the Skyforce has done the entire year, just coming at you in waves with relentless defense and solid offense. Benson inside.
Like these two, like Maine, which won the Atlantic Division, they play good team ball. Team ball works in basketball in any league. Like these two, like Maine, which won the Atlantic Division, they play good team ball. Team ball works in basketball in any league.
Magruder left it short. Weber, offensive rebound for Sioux Falls.
For Stokes, while all this is happening, getting a nice long breather on the bench.
Weber on the move. Deflected by Trice to James. Weber stole it back. 2 on none for Magruder.
And from Division II. Well, you can make it here in the D-League, and of course, that puts you just a step away.
Inside of 8 minutes to go, Westchester here at home trailing as Sioux Falls looks to take a 1-0 games lead in this best of 3, with the series shifting back to Sioux Falls for game 2 and 3. Good contest by the Knicks. Here's Capers on the run. Pull up 2, draws the foul.
Will doing it right here. Capers to the line, moving his team within 13.
Capers, the 9th player to play for Westchester this evening. 9 players have come into the game for the Skyforce. Each team carrying 10 active players for this Eastern Conference semifinal game 1. Liggins with a great fake and then a bullet pass inside for an easy 2. Briante Weber.
You say easy 2 for Sioux in half of the ones they missed.
Atkins on the baseline, no. Benson elevates high over Capers for the defensive rebounds. And the speedy Skyforce will take its time over midcourt. Winnington spinning off the glass with the offhand. 99-83, midway through the 4th. Sioux Falls floor. Capers missing the layup inside. Time dwindling for the home Knicks. Inside of 5 minutes to play in a 12-point game.
Capers taking a bump, no call. Fans behind us trying to egg on the refs, but no whistle. They are in no hurry, Sioux Falls. Plenty of ability and, more importantly, plenty of time to be patient. But they're down to 2.
Liggins beats the buzzer. Front of the iron. The rebound down to Boo Boo Paulo.
Haven't seen Paulo for a while, but Boo Boo will slow it down. And again, why not? Clock is a friend of the Skyforce. The force is with them, and so is time.
Sioux Falls over the century mark, looking for more with 6 on the timer. Magruder, a 3. Yes, sir.
Rodney Magruder is one of the great three-point shooters in the D-League.
Sioux Falls lead trimmed to 13 with Kevin Capers made field goal in the paint. Trice, backcourt defense against Paulo. Up ahead, Liggins.
So they play keep away, work the clock.
9 on the timer. Paulo, a wide open paint. Defense collapse, allowing Stokes to get in on the offensive glass. And he
long rest here.